engagement is about encouraging your customer to interact and share in the experience you create for them as a business and a brand. When executed well, a strong customer engagement strategy will foster brand growth and loyalty. So, to talk about this, we have Mr. Sin C, the CEO and co-founder of CEO Hacker, to talk about this customer engagement and conversion optimization.
Yeah, hi again, good evening. So I'm Sean. My topic for today will be about how to maximize conversions through SEO and CRO. You see, there is something about SEO and CRO that overlaps. So there's something about SEO and CRO that overlaps, and a lot of people think that if you're doing SEO, you're gonna damage your CRO, and vice versa. If you're doing CRO, you're gonna damage your SEO. For those who don't know, SEO is basically the art and science of manipulating search results, search engine optimization. I've been doing it for 8 years. CRO is basically increasing conversion rates, and that means a conversion could be a lead, could be a sale, could be signups, and so on. Whatever you deem to be something that is a goal for your website or your web page is a conversion. Basically, CRO is I would say the art and science behind increasing the chances of you converting, and these two can work together. But there are a lot of times that CRO people don't agree with SEO people, and vice versa, because of keywords, because of the copy, because of ease of use, because of the thickness of the content. So how are we going to make that work together? Let's face it, SEO is hard. We all know it. There's only so much we can do before finally our rankings drop, and it doesn't make sense anymore because we hit the ceiling. Likewise, we can only optimize for so many conversions, and until there's no moving the needle further. In e-commerce, they say if you get a 2% conversion rate, that's already the normal. If you get 5%, that's fantastic. But that's pretty much the ceiling. You can't really increase the conversions to like 50%, 60%. So the CRO figures, it hits a ceiling as well. There's a sweet spot in between when you're doing your SEO right and you're doing CRO right, and that's where you want to be. You don't want to be on either one or the other because it can work together, but there's only a sweet spot in between. If you do pure SEO, you just can't do CRO with that, and if you do pure CRO, then you can't do SEO with that. So this is going to be the gist of our conversation tonight. The sweet spot is often misunderstood. People think of CRO as something that damages rankings, and people think of SEO as something that damages user experience. While that may be true, there are ways to make them play well and hit that sweet spot of maximum ranking and conversions. There are 5 common problems in the intersection of SEO and CRO. Number 1, same landing pages. Number 2, duplicate content from A/B testing. 3, site speed from A/B or ABN testing. 4, ghost images. And 5, the H1 tag copy. Now, if some of these things confuse you because you haven't heard of them before, don't worry, I will explain it as we go. So let's take number 1, same landing pages. There are generally 2 types of landing pages: the SEO landing page and the landing page, the normal landing page. SEO landing page are the landing pages you want to rank. These landing pages are usually the home page, where you have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of words there, a lot of content, a lot of navigation. Blog entries are landing pages because you write articles that help the general audience. These are people who may or may not be your target prospects, strictly speaking, but these are people that will benefit from your company and from your expertise and your authority. Long form content. These pieces of content are at least 2,000 words. Sometimes they call it 10x content. They can call it evergreen content. whatever they want to call it. It's a piece of content that's very, very long, and it's very definitive of what the topic is about. Linkable assets. These are pages in your site that drive a lot of value. It can be like Moz's beginner's guide to SEO. It can be a tool that helps with rank checking for free or a free site audit. It can be tax calculator. So these are linkable assets in your site, and they're really good for SEO. You can get a lot of links from them. You can get a lot of content in them, but they're not good landing pages generally. So let's talk about the second one, the normal landing pages. These are pages where the magic happens. Pages that convert and pages that look like this. So this is one of the landing pages of HubSpot. Free ebook learning SEO from the experts. The page itself does not have a lot of content, does not have a lot of copy. So generally this doesn't rank too well on SEO, but it converts really well. So what HubSpot now does is the traffic they're getting from search, they get it into this page. So the audience could have landed in some other blog entry in their website or some other linkable asset in their website, and they have a following header or a pop-up that will take the audience to this page. And what this page is for conversions. That's it. HubSpot wants people to download the guide and give their first name, their last name, the email, their data. And that's it. So this doesn't rank well, but it converts really well. This is one of the landing pages. This is Copy Blogger. So again, the page is not too long, doesn't rank well, but it is a landing page that converts. And lastly, this is another landing page from HubSpot. So usually these pages, they don't rank, and that's fine because people actually convert to paid. They go through multiple touches. For example, this one is Moz. It's a SEO software as a service company. We know it. SEO people know who Moz is. They give a lot of free advice. And for them, conversion means a user signs up for their software's free trial. And they take it from there. They try to convert them to paid. Here's what they found out. People who convert to paid after visiting only 2 or 3 times churn. They churn soon and they churn fast. So they convert to paid. They visited twice. They visited 3 times. Signed up for the free account. Converted to paid. And then they canceled their subscription soon and fast. Meaning users who visit their site more, mostly through their blog, is an avid reader, maybe subscribed to their Moz top 10. They are people who are better customers for Moz. They are low churn, they're high retention. Maybe if they churn, they come back and subscribe again. So they make sure to keep their landing pages as landing pages. Very simple. You look for Moz top 10. They don't have a lot of marketing material to make sure that this one is ranking very high. But if you search for Moz top 10, of course, this is going to come up. But the Moz top 10 landing page is not that long. It's really just a landing page. And then they optimize their SEO landing pages for rankings. And some of the SEO landing pages they have, I mentioned it earlier, they have the beginner's guide to SEO. They have a lot of things. And a lot of people use them all over the world. What happens is people will go through their SEO landing pages, mostly the blog, read through the content there multiple times, subscribe to the Moz top 10, and finally, when people are more interested to be more engaged with Moz, what is Moz really about? What do they sell? They put a lot of good stuff out there, and if the good stuff, we get it for free, what if I pay? Then that's where the magic happens. And then people finally convert, and they become high quality customers. Now, let's go to number 2. Duplicate content from A/B testing. This is one mistake made by people not using A/B testing tools. Both the original and variation are crawled by Google. So A/B testing is one method. One very common method that we use in CRO is basically testing 2 versions of one landing page and seeing which one converts better. So there's the original and there's the variation. The variation is the challenger, the B version. The A version is the original version, or the canonical version. The content is the same. Usually for the original and variation, content looks similar, if not exactly the same, maybe 80 to 90% the same. Therefore, the risk of those pages getting sniffed by Google Panda penalty, we all know it. It basically penalizes or ranks down duplicate content, is significant. The solution is simple. Add a rel canonical tag on the variation or challenger page or the B page. This isn't hard to do when you're testing, A/B testing just 2 pages, but when you're testing 2 experiences, then it becomes tough, because A/B testing 2 pages, sometimes you just test a button, you just test the color, you just test a piece of copy somewhere, maybe above the fold, just one little thing, right? But if you test an entire experience, you change the layout, you change a lot of the buttons, you change the placements, you change the colors, you change the copy, then it becomes another experience altogether. And then it has to be a consistent experience. For example, you test another homepage, since it looks very different now, once they get to the pricing page, to the contact page, to the sign up page, it has to be consistent. It's a whole new experience. Then this becomes tough. One example is for my second business, Qeryz. We tested a whole new experience. So this one on the left is our canonical version. This is our A version, the original version. This one on the right is the B version, the challenger version. And so, as you can see, it's very, very different. We have the video here, the explainer video. On the challenger, we took out the explainer video and made it a button. We have the testimonial here. Here on the challenger, we put it on a lower section. And so this becomes a whole new different experience. So we wanted to make it consistent. On the original side, we have the pricing page, and you can see the design looks pretty similar to the home page. On the pricing page of the challenger version, we also made it look similar in the way that the theme, the overall theme, is the same. Testimonials page, likewise, we retained the experience. Features page, we retained the color, but we segmented the entire layer of features that we had on the first version, and on the challenger version we made it into 3 big categories, and then if they click the core, the behavioral, it takes them to the nitty-gritty details of the features. So what we did was to do an A/B testing of an entire experience, meaning it's a whole new different website, a whole new different design. Same product, same stuff we talk about, same features, same pricing model, but it's just that it's laid out differently. And so we wanted to make the entire experience streamlined. We didn't do just the home page or just the pricing page or just the testimonials page, because that wouldn't make sense. That's not testing the experience, that's just testing the entire page, which is also not a good idea, because if you want to test an entire page, you have so many elements that you cannot really attribute which one increased the conversion rate better. We put the rel canonical tags for each variation, pointing back to the originals or to the canonical version. So what happens is, when Google sees the variation version, what Google does is, okay, this is a variation, the canonical version is this one, this is the original, let's not index the variation anymore, let's just index the original, and so you're safe. Google Panda will not hit your website. And a lot of rookie CRO people miss that out. Number 3 is site speed from A/B or ABN testing. A lot of A/B or ABN testing tools slow down site speed. And here are the top 8 fastest A/B testing tools. This is not updated this year, but I think a lot of these software companies out there for AB and testing still has pretty much the same start render, background, and variation complete time. I prefer using Optimizely, personally. Now, as you can see here, SiteSpect is the fastest. We have Optimizely in the middle. I like it because it's easy to use, and we have VWO at the end. They improved their code, obviously, so they're now second to the slowest, but the previous one was really, really bad. Slower site speed isn't just an SEO problem, because we all know site speed is an SEO factor. It's also a conversion problem, meaning it's a big problem because it affects both SEO and CRO. If you want an A/B testing tool that has good site speed and is free, Optimizely is a good option. In our team, we use Google Content Experiments as well, because with Google Content Experiments, you can optimize or do an entire experience like what we did for Qeryz. With Optimizely, it's a little bit difficult because you are boxed into their software. You cannot, just do a free. It's not. Well, how do you say it? You can't do anything and everything you want, any and every customization that you want. So you're limited. You're boxed into Optimizely. You can only move within Optimizely. That's why we chose Google Content Experiments for Qeryz. Number 4 is the H1 tag copy. H1 tag is very important for 2 reasons. Number 1, it's a direct ranking factor. And number 2, it's a direct conversion factor. That's because unlike site speed, the H1 element is a front-end element, meaning people can actually see it. So it directly affects people's psychology and behavior in your site, and it's no surprise that the H1 tag is often changed to improve conversion rates. The problem is, what converts most may not always be what ranks best. Let's take Qeryz again, and I'm using it because it is my company and we did this. So the keyword is survey tool. The H1 that worked best is the survey tool for website. I get 1,000 visitors per month and convert at 2.5%. This is hypothetical, but let's just say these are the numbers. I get 1,000 visitors a month, I convert 2.5%. That's 25 signups per month. I changed the H1 to the road to a beautiful money-making website, which is what we actually have if you visit Qeryz.com right now. The keyword is non-existent, but conversions increased by 100%, giving me a 5% conversion rate. From 2.5, now 5%. However, my traffic from SEO, my overall traffic decreased by 75% because the keyword is not there anymore, and I lose that keyword, which means I'm only getting 250 visitors a month now. So that's 250 visitors multiplied by 5%. I'm converting only 12.5%. 12.5 versus 25, that's actually lower than what I was getting before. What if I incorporate SEO elements into the H1 tag and still retain some of the things that converted very well for me and make it the survey tool for beautiful money-making websites? The keyword is there, survey tool, and I retain the CRO uptick of the copy, made it into the survey tool for beautiful money-making websites. Now the keyword is there, so my visitors increased again to maybe 750 a month. The copy is converting at a 4% ratio because we retained the CRO copy. So that's 750 a month, converting at 4%, which gives me a total of 30 conversions a month. That's not bad because we started at 25, we hit the sweet spot, now we get more. And this is what I'm talking about. This is just the H1 tag example. Lastly is ghost images. Conversion rate optimization also means testing images. Let's say I'm optimizing for my website which sells sunblock. Which one do you think would sell better? Which image? This one, the one with a woman putting on sunblock, or this one? It's an orangutan. Naturally, people would say that the first one would convert better because there's a lady there, she's pretty, she's putting on sunblock. The second one just doesn't make sense. Like, why would an orangutan put on sunblock, right? So it's a stupid test. But if that happens, we're pretty sure that the girl will convert better. Both images are crawled by Google, but the other one will soon get scrapped if it loses the A/B test. Let's say the orangutan gets scrapped because it doesn't make sense. Lost conversions. People didn't buy it because they saw an orangutan there. People bought because they saw the girl there. So we scrap away the orangutan. My advice, don't delete images, because even if you scrap a variation page, you should keep the images alive because you already submitted them to Google. You may be getting relevant traffic from them. Google may have crawled it already, and you're going to be losing your traffic if you delete the images. So, to wrap it up, how do you maximize conversions through SEO and CRO? Number one, know the difference between SEO landing page and landing page. Make sure you optimize two of them separately. Don't make them one and the same, because it's going to be very, very tough for you to make it one and the same. Duplicate content from A/B testing. Make sure that you put in the rel canonical tag. Site speed from A/B or ABN testing. Make sure that your A/B or ABN testing tool loads fast. If you can, use Google Content Experiments. It's free. You just need to put in some manpower there, because Optimizely it's easy to use. With Google Content Experiments, it's a lot more complicated, but you can customize everything. So that just means that you need more manpower with your development team. H1 tag copy. Make sure that you hit the sweet spot, because that has huge chances of helping you convert more end game. Don't focus your H1 tag on keywords, just keywords, and don't focus them on just conversions, because you may be losing out. And lastly, ghost images. Don't delete your images. Even if you scrap the original, sometimes the original loses, sometimes the challenger version loses. Don't scrap your images, because they may have been crawled. You may lose some traffic for them. Test everything. Whether CRO side or SEO side, test everything while making sure the technical elements played as the same team. If you don't test, you're losing out, because you never know if the orangutan actually converted better. I mean, I didn't run that test, but who knows, right? So test everything. And at that, I end my presentation. Thank you very much. If you want to reach out to me, this is my personal email address. That's sean@seo-hacker.com. My Twitter handle is SEO_hacker. And you can tweet me there, or you can email me if you want to check.
Thank you, Mr. Saincy. That was a wonderful lecture on customer engagement and conversion optimization. So we have quantized on the user experience for consistent for both original and variation. So for the digital marketers over in the conference, it's your time to ask your questions to Mr. Saincy. So whoever need to clarify regarding the customer engagement and conversion optimization, if you have any queries, you can raise up your hand in the conference so that he can clarify you. And then if you have a webcam, please click on the raise hand button on the Adobe Connect, so that you can connect with Saincy in our video session, so that he can clear your doubts whatever you have asked. So just like or else like other participants who have any queries, you just post the questions on chat box, so that Saincy can also view it, and then he can explain what are the queries you have. Yeah, here is the question by Jabu Lily.
So how does
this is an interesting, yeah.
And SEO writing, as it seems SEO is a big thing and relevant to all businesses. How is H1 tag better than other forms of SEO? Well, H1 tag is a big deal. I wouldn't say it's an extremely big deal, but it's one of the elements that Google checks out. Generally, the H1 tag is the biggest element in terms of words in your web page. So in any web page, if you have an H1 tag there, it's usually the biggest font. So Google knows that it should be the most valuable pieces of text that you have on a single page, and they give ample weight to that. So it is a ranking factor. Not a huge one, but if you compare it with the other ranking factors, that are on site, it's pretty significant. So aside from the title tag, I think the H1 tag and the first paragraph of any piece of content is quite a big deal. That's why we optimize those things first and foremost.
So it's a very good lecture for us, Mr. Saincy. It's been a great pleasure to have a conference with you. So we have gained more information about your company, like H1 process, what you have did in that. So it's an useful information for the participants also, so that they can gain the more knowledge about it. So thank you so much, Mr. Saincy. Thanks for this conference.